A very good morning, dear students. Today we will start with chapter number 1 of Science 1, that is Laws of Motion. In this chapter, we will study following topics. Topic is motion. Second topic is distance and displacement. Third topic is acceleration. And fourth topic will be Newton's laws of motion of related equations. In today's lecture, we will study first two topics, that is motion, distance and displacement. Now let us see first of all first topic, that is motion. An object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to its surroundings. Means the movement of an object from one position to another position with respect to the observer is called as motion. For example, motion of a moving ball and motion of a car on highway. So in these two examples, you will understand that children, this ball is moving. Means that ball is in motion because it changes its position. Again, this car is also in motion because it also changes its position with respect to surroundings. Now children, let us see some question answers based on previous standard. That is on the basis of topic motion of an object. So can you tell in which of the examples can you sense motion? How will you explain presence and absence of motion? So first example, the flight of a bird. Second example, a stationary train. Third example, leaves flying through air. And fourth example will be a stone lying on a hill. So we can sense motion in the examples number 1 and 3. That is the flight of a bird and leaves lying through air. Because as we have learnt in the previous standard that if an object changes its position with respect to surroundings, then it is said to be in motion. But we will not see motion in the examples 2 and 4 because there is no change in position of train and stone as they both are in stationary state. Children, we are looking the motion of many objects every day. Sometimes we cannot see the motion of object directly. For example, breeze. Breeze means a light, gentle wind. Can you tell other examples of motion other than given in the textbook? Yes, we can tell many examples of motion instead of textbook, such as motion of a simple pendulum, motion of a moving bicycle, motion of a flying mosquito, then motion of a merry-go-round, motion of the blades of a fan, and the motion of the earth around the sun. So all these are the examples that we are looking in our everyday life. Now we can say children, if the position of an object changes with respect to its surroundings, then it is said to be in motion. Otherwise, that object is said to be at rest. Means when that object is changing its position, then we can say that that object is in motion. And if it is not changing its position, means it is stationary or it is in steady state, then we can say that that object is at rest. Now next question is, think about it. Children, if you are traveling in a bus, then is the person sitting next to you in motion? No, that person sitting next to you is not in motion with respect to you, but he is in motion with respect to the person who is on the road, because that person on the road is in stationary state. Okay, he is not movable. So due to that, we can say that this person is not in motion with respect to you, but that person is in motion with respect to the person on the road. Now, second question, children. What do you take into consideration to decide if an object is moving or not? So, to decide whether an object is in motion or not, we consider whether it changes its position with respect to its surroundings or not. So, when we are telling that object is in motion, when that object is changing its position from one place to another place, then it is in motion. So, this ball is in motion. Whereas in the second example, that stone is there, so that stone is in stationary state, means that stone is not moving from one place to another place, so we can say that it is not in motion. I hope, children, it is clear to you what is the meaning of motion. Now next concept is displacement and distance. For this we have to see one activity, that is, let's try this. Measure the distance between points A and B in different ways as shown in the figure 1.1a. Now measure the distance along the dotted line. Which distance is correct according to you and why? So we have to measure distance between point A and B, that is in the curved path also and in the straight line also. So after doing it, you will understand that the distance measured along the curved path, including the loop from A to B, is the correct distance covered by a particle moving from A and B along the path is concerned. Okay, so the distance measured along the dotted line gives the magnitude of the displacement of the particle from A to B. Means here we can measure the distances from A to B, from that curved loop also and from the straight line also. But that curved loop distance is correct because it is giving the actual distance covered by A to B. Whereas the distance measured along the dotted line gives the magnitude of that particle from A to B, and so that curved loop path is correct distance. Now think about it. Sheetal first went to her friend Sangeeta's house on her way to school. That is from figure 1.1b. Prashant went straight from home to school. Both are walking with the same speed. Who will take less time to reach the school and why? In the above example, is there a difference between the actual distance and the distance traveled, and what is it? So we have to calculate the distance covered by Sheetal and Prashant, and we have to compare both these distances. Then we will understand who took more time and who took less time. So first of all, this Sheetal and Prashant's house is given. So Sheetal is going first of all to Sangeeta's house, and then both are going to school. So first of all we have to calculate here, children, the distance traveled by Sheetal, that is 500 meter plus 1200 meter. So it will be 1700 meter. Now we have to see the distance traveled by Prashant. Prashant is directly going to school, so distance will be 1300 meter. Now we have to calculate the difference between distance traveled by Sheetal and distance traveled by Prashant. So the difference between them is equal to 1700 meter minus 1300 meter. It will be 400 meter. Now Prashant and Sheetal walk with the same speed, and the distance traveled by Prashant is less than that traveled by Sheetal. Hence, Prashant will take less time to reach the school. So, here distance traveled by Prashant is less, so he will take less time to reach the school. Whereas, Sheetal is traveling more. Okay. So, due to that, she will take more time to reach the school. Now, after looking the concepts of distance and displacement, let us see children difference between distance and displacement. So, distance is the length of the path traveled by a body while moving from an initial position to a final position. Means that is the actual path traveled by an object from initial position to final position, that is the distance. Whereas displacement is the shortest distance between initial position and the final position of the body. Distance is a scalar quantity. Means we we are considering in distance only magnitude. So distance is a scalar quantity. Whereas displacement is a vector quantity. Because in displacement we are considering both magnitude as well as direction. Distance measured is always positive, whereas displacement can be positive or negative depending on the reference point. Okay. Now next point is the total distance covered is equal to the algebraic sum of all the distances traveled in different directions. So whatever total distance we have to calculate, then that distance is algebraic sum of all the distances traveled in different direction. Means that is the sum of all the distances traveled in different directions, that is called as distance. Okay. Now displacement means the net displacement is the vector sum of all the individual displacements in different direction. Whereas in displacement what happens children? There is a sum of individual displacement in different direction. Here there is a total distance covered and that distance traveled in different direction, that addition is there in distance. And whereas in displacement there is a addition of individual distances in different directions. Okay. Now fifth point, there is always a distance covered whenever there is a motion. If there is a motion, then obviously there is a distance. Displacement will be 0 if the body comes back to its initial position. Suppose in case of any object, that final point and initial point, that distance is same. Okay, final point and initial point is same, then that time displacement will be 0. I hope children it is clear to you. Now children, in short we can say that distance is the length of the actual path traveled by an object in motion while going from one point to another point. Whereas displacement is the minimum distance between starting and finishing points. In this diagram, we have to measure the distance, that is A to B. So blue colored line, that is curved path, that is a distance, because it shows the length of the actual path that is traveling from one point to another point. But in the displacement, that is black color line is given, there is a straight line. Okay, so there is a minimum distance is given, but from starting to finishing point, and due to that it is a displacement. Now I hope children you all have understood what is the difference between distance and displacement. Let us see children question answers based on distance and displacement, that is use your brain power. Every morning Swarali walks around the edge of a circular field having a radius of 100 meter. As shown in figure 1.2a, if she starts from the point A and takes one round, how much distance has she walked and what is her displacement? So, first of all, we have to calculate distance covered by Swarali and her displacement also. So, for calculating distance covered by Swarali in one round, we have to see first of all the shape of the round. So, here the shape of the round is circular. So, obviously we have to calculate the circumference of the circle. So, the formula for circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. So that is equal to 2 into pi value is 22 upon 7 into 100. So that will be 4400 upon 7. So answer will be 628.6 meter. Now children, we have to calculate her displacement. So we have to consider the starting and finishing point. So Swarali walks from point A and she finished that round on point A only. So her displacement will be 0 because we know children the minimum distance covered from starting to finishing point, that is called as displacement. So displacement covered by the Swarali in one round will be 0 meter. Now, second question, children. If a car starting from point P goes to point Q, so we have to consider figure 1.2b. And then this car returned to point P, how much distance has it traveled and what is its displacement? So, we have to see the distance traveled by the car. So, car is traveling from point P to Q and again Q to P. So, it will be PQ plus QP. So, it is equal to 360 meter plus 360 meter. So, it will be 720 meter. And we have to calculate displacement. So, we have to consider starting point and finishing point. So starting point is P and again that car is coming to point P only. So starting point and finishing point is same only. So displacement of the car will be 0 meter. I hope children it is clear to you what is distance and displacement. Thank you children for watching the video and for your attention.